In neighboring Kenya, local police have launched a manhunt after the body of a female athlete was found earlier this week in the town of Iten, which is famous for its center for long-distance runners. Police say they are looking for the Ethiopian boyfriend of 28-year-old Damaris Muthe Mutua, who was born in Kenya but competed for Bahrain. She is the second female athlete to be killed in Iten in a year. Last October, Kenyans were shocked by the killing of Olympic runner Agnes Tirop. Her husband remains in custody and denies murdering her. The latest killing has once again ignited debate on gender-based violence among athletes in Kenya. We interviewed Athletics Kenya Executive Committee member and retired runner Barnabas Korir on the subject and began by asking him what some of the factors contributing to rising cases of GBV among Kenyan athletes are.
Ours was to understand exactly the challenges that our athletes are facing where they are training. So the Federation chose 15 centers across the country that we visited and talked to the athletes. Before, we used to have every year a seminar in one area like Eldoret or Nairobi, where all the athletes could come and they are taken through some educations that are relevant to their development, including finance, education, and many other things. This time round, Athletics Kenya wanted to know from the athletes the challenges they face when they are training. Those reports have already been compiled, has been documented, and it's just to be released pretty soon. Of course, it is a different story, to release a report and give it to the public to digest. It's another matter when it is to be implemented. Some areas that needed implementation, the ministry sent it to Athletics Kenya and other federations, because it was not only Athletics Kenya that was being affected. There are other major federations that are even more affected than Athletics Kenya. So those implementation proposals has already been sent to us, and the federation, Athletics Kenya, is acting on that. But what we wanted was for the report from Athletics Kenya to share with the government, and then when they return it back to us, then we implement as a whole, combining what the ministry has decided and what we have already come out with, then we put together and start implementing. There are areas that I know it can be done quickly. There are some that requires a long-term process, and that's what we are going to look into. In a nutshell, something has to be done to make sure that we protect the athletes. And then, of course, the educational part, which is very, very important and starts from when they are young. And it does not even affect only the federations alone. It goes all the way to the families, how the structure is set up, going to schools, the coaches, and also athletic support personnel who are dealing with these athletes, especially the coaches and managers. So it is a whole concept. It's not just one institution that has to act. It has to be a myriad of activities that has to be done so that we can come up with a solution. One entity cannot solve the problems that we're facing now, because whatever we see others are doing is generally a societal problem. And to achieve that, we have to talk to the parents also, to understand that the young athletes should not be looked into as a source of resources so that they can help them. But it has to be put in such an understanding that this process has to wait. The athletes can be assisted in a way until they can mature. When it comes to issues of education, when you have an athlete that is educated, their mind is open and can understand and try to digest the issues that they face. So they are given an opportunity when they go to school, and from there they know that they can make individual decisions that face them. They are using now of course the protocol part to ensure that they reach out to their counterparts in Ethiopia to trace where this person, and if possible to bring that person back. That information is going on with the government. We don't want to know how they are doing it, but of course they have to use diplomatic channels to ensure that person is arrested and brought back to Kenya.